If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Well, hello you glorious mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Before we go any further, welcome to the new subscribers that have recently jumped on board. Much appreciated. Thanks very much for showing some interest and support for the channel. Much appreciated. The EHCP. Four little letters that to the majority of people in this country mean nothing. What it actually means is the Educational Healthcare Plan. Now, some of you may know, some of you may not. My eldest grandson is a non-verbal autistic child. And my daughter is currently, or has been going through the EHCP process. Fortunately, it's all in place at the moment, any case. And what the Educational Healthcare Plan is, you've pretty much guessed by me just stating what I just stated at the beginning. It's about making sure that as a parent and the education system can provide the education required for your child if they have special requirements. Now, it's a long-winded process. The council don't want to really usually engage in it because it costs them money that they sorely do not have. So what normally happens is you put it into the council rejects it, you then go to tribunal because it's a legal process. This is a legal rubber stamping that there is, this needs to be done for your child and this is what's going to be done, and it's legally backed up. So you as a parent have a backstop to anything going wrong. So usually what happens is you go to the tribunal, the council don't turn up because they can't afford to turn up. They then go, dump, yes, that's right, and you go. Now, I'm simplifying it as much as I can because it is exceedingly complicated and it's full of, the usual legal jargon which confuses the living crap out of people. So basically, sometimes the EHCP states that your child will be better served in an independent school. Yeah, the ones that Bridget Phillipson lied about. If you're wondering what I mean, is they added VAT onto independent or private schools, and it was only going to affect 3,000 children. It's already affected at least 13,000 children, and the projection is for 53,000 people. And all these children need to go back into the state system that could barely manage what it's got now with shrinking budgets. Well, you can then add into that, send children who have been sent there by the EHCP. See how it works? And they will then have to go back into the state system that they used the EHCP to get out of because the state system couldn't provide the needs of the child. So, yeah, that's how it works. And the reason I talk about it in such a way is in the new education bill, and I think I need to sit down and really read this education bill because it's got very long-reaching controlling measures in it. The government want to get rid of the EHCP. The only thing that you've got as a parent to legally back you up to get the best for your child. So what that will do is, Labour will spin this as it's streamlining the system, it's making it easier, it's making it so you don't have to go through the process. What it actually means is the state will decide about your child, and you as a parent, well, kind of irrelevant now. You have no legal recourse or any legal backing to help you out. So basically, when it goes, the state will own your child. They will make the decision and you've got no comeback on it. Yeah. Now, you see, this is yet another indication of how, and I don't know how much more it will take to wake people up. We were just discussing last night in a stream the fact that doing what I'm doing right now is seen as an extreme terrorist-based ideology. I'm not joking. Because I have extreme far-right tendencies, I'm classed as a terrorist, a threat to society for pointing out the fact that the state is taking control. But that's irrelevant, because now what they want is, Bridget Phillipson wants your child in state nurseries from the age of 9 months. They are going already to give your children free breakfast because it helps them concentrate. No, what it means is they're in school longer. They also make you extremely dependent on the school. And I will be brutally honest, if you can't afford to feed your child in the morning for breakfast, you shouldn't have had a kid in the first place. And that's the same principle of the 2-cap limit. Yeah, don't remove that, because what it does is people will have babies and kids because it'll give them money in their back pocket, which they won't spend on their children. Not everybody, but some will. And we also know that we're scrapping that also benefits certain demographics. We all know this. So you've got that, and now you're going to have, if you're on universal credit, now I'm not going to lie, I and Mrs. G am on universal credit. We don't earn enough to make it up, so it's topped up with universal credit. So my children are now entitled, apparently, to free school meals. They won't be having them because I provide for my children. We had our children because we sat down, worked out the fact that we could afford to look after the children, so we had them. So I give my children breakfast, and I give children lunch, and I give my children dinner. And everything that they have and they need, I pay for. Okay? Plus also, I'll be brutally honest, school dinners, no, they're just not. But what that does is, what they're doing is that, again, it's another bit of control. It's another bit where the state will tell you what your children need to eat. They do that already. I mean, in schools, you can only drink water. Well, except for the staff, who can drink whatever the hell they want. Because apparently that's what it's all about. And now I get them that, you should have a balance. Now I make sure that my children's lunch boxes that they take have a decent sandwich. My youngest, little Elle, she likes, he loves cheese cob. So she has a cheese cob. My son, I cook him some chicken with mayonnaise and barbecue sauce on a roll or in a bun. They have a small bag of crisps, and we usually put them in the small lunchbox size cookies or something like that, and a big flask of drink. And just before there, as soon as your child moves from junior to senior school, drinking water is no longer a thing. Yeah. Any case, I'm getting digressed. So this is all about control. What they want to do is they want you to put your children into the system at an earliest age possible so they can continue to... Education, it isn't about education anymore. It's about programming. Because they also want to change the curriculum so they will teach your children what they want them to learn. Not necessarily what they need to learn. Don't get me wrong, I agree some of the curriculum does need to be modernised in some respects, but the way they're already saying and teaching that English and British children, people who are born here, are evil, and we're rewriting history. For instance, Stonehenge was built by black people, which is an absolute fucking bollocks, but we all know. So we're rewriting history. If you've never read the book 1984, I suggest you do. Sit down, read that, and realise that the government's using that as an actual playbook. It's an instruction manual on how to screw you over. Try Newspeak. Yeah, you can only say what's acceptable. We've created every East, Ism, Obe. We're making it illegal to say this, illegal to say that. When will it be enough? The state is basically saying with this new education bill that they own your child from the age of 9 months. And you as a parent have no responsibility. And now also in the education bill, which is the last bit before I bring this one to a close, is if you don't want your children to go through this system, you can homeschool. Well, they're going to make that really difficult, because what they're actually saying is, and if you read it, they're going to treat you, if you want to homeschool, as a deviant, a criminal, and maybe a grooming person. And you have to prove that you're not, to allow your child to be homeschooled. Are you waking up yet? And of course you're not. Because this video, knowing the way YouTube does things, will go to the people who watch my videos on a regular basis, and they're already awake. Because you won't allow this to get out. And that's the most frustrating thing. But that is what they do. They want it to be done. They want it to make it as difficult as possible for messages to get out. So they suppress us. They make it so annoying that you quit. And I've had my wobbles, but I've realised now what the game is, and I'm not quitting. I will continue to do this. So to those of you who regularly watch my videos, you need to share the living crap out of them. And it's not just mine, everybody else's. You know the usual, Paz, Andy, everybody. When you find a video that has a message that you agree with and it's about the truth, then send it out on a share. Get it out to as many people as humanly possible. Because YouTube aren't going to do that. They will do it, and this is where, as I've said before, we caught them out. They will do it when I say, oh, YouTuber gets arrested for speaking the truth. That's had over 30,000 views. It's without doubt, I think now, the second most successful video on my channel ever. The other one was about somebody else being put in prison for speaking the truth. You see how it works? Yeah, the messages that they want you to hear, they're letting out. But those which criticise and point out the fact that the state is every day trying to take another little bit of your freedom away. And now we're basically saying in this new education bill that they own your kids. So basically all you are baby producing. Yeah. But of course we don't produce enough because we've pushed the agenda of the LGBTQ, which impacts birth rates. And then because the birth rates are low, they're now using that as an excuse to justify flooding this country with illegal immigrants or immigrants and massively changing the demographic. Apparently the chart now says in 40 years, white people will be a minority in this country. And how guilty does that make me feel, bringing my children into that? And my grandkids are going to come up in that. But as I said, for most people who watch this and will watch this video, I'm preaching to the converted and I get it. So it's a call to arms to you people who are awake already to these sort of things. And get it out to as many people as possible. Share these channels out to as many people as possible. It is vitally important if we want the message to go. If we want one more person to take that red pill, then it's worth it. I will keep making the videos. I need your assistance to get them out there. I genuinely do. Because as it was shown, when that one was allowed to go out, I gained a huge amount of subscribers who are now watching my videos. Subscribers in reality to YouTubers don't matter that much, except in this case they do, because if I could get half of my 8,000 subscribers to share each video out to their friends, the message is getting out, and maybe we can red pill one more person, because we need to start waking people up, because in reality we have 40 years before we're a minority. We've already been branded far-right thugs. We've already been called everything under the sun, every ism, obe, whatever, create a word to fucking penalise people for daring to have an opinion. Now they're branding us as a far-right extreme terrorist people organisation. It won't stop until they silence us. I know some people say go on Rumble. Well, yeah, I can go on Rumble. All my live streams are done on Rumble. But the problem is Rumble haven't got the audience. And again, a lot of Rumble, you're talking and preaching to the converted. We need to work together to get the message out to more people, because that's where we will win. We will also win by not being quiet. We will also win by continuing to make some noise, to continue to keep the light burning for as long as we can, because that's what we need to do. Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this one. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that gods of YouTube, with its mighty, mighty algorithm that absolutely hates this channel and any channel that speaks the truth, will pick just for you. It's called The Chosen One. If If you agree with what I'm saying, please like, share and subscribe. Ding the notification bell. But as I said before, the most important thing you can do is share the videos out so everybody gets to hear it. We need to wake more people up. I don't know how much it's going to be before people finally do wake up, but of course we all know the problem is the middle class, and until shit starts to impact on them, nothing's going to change. But we must keep fighting. We must never give in. We must keep the light burning. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So until the next one. Oh, don't forget, ways to support the channel down below if you feel like you can. See you later.